For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. 22 young people from 5 states filed suit against the Trump administration Thursday, alleging the president's executive orders to ramp up fossil fuel production, open public lands to the industry, and censor climate science violate their constitutional rights to life, health, and safety. The suit targets President Donald Trump's Unleash Fossil Fuels Directive of 3 executive orders and claims they've also led agencies to stymie renewable energy production and ignore congressional environmental protections. The youth say it will exacerbate climate change and limit their ability to redress it. Lake Liao is a young climate activist who posted the announcement on social media.
These executive orders violate 2 constitutional rights. Firstly, the Fifth Amendment rights to life and liberty, and secondly, the principle of separation of powers, as these executive orders exceed presidential authority without congressional approval.
The suit was filed by Our Children's Trust, which won a landmark 2023 ruling in Montana that found the state's energy policies violated young people's right to a clean environment. The 22 young plaintiffs are from California, Florida, Hawaii, Montana, and Oregon. The daughter of a Seattle woman who died from heat stroke has sued 7 major fossil fuel companies in the first civil liability suit of its kind, seeking to hold oil companies accountable for heat-related deaths. The suit argues the companies knew for decades extracting oil and gas would heat the planet. That could result in extreme, deadly weather events like heat waves, flooding, and wildfires, making them liable for the death in 2021 during a massive heat dome that killed nearly 600 people in Oregon and Washington states. 7 companies named in the suit: ExxonMobil, Chevron, Shell, BP, ConocoPhillips, Phillips 66, and BP subsidiary Olympic Pipeline Company. Scientists say 4 billion people, about half the world's population, in the last year experienced at least 1 extra month of extreme heat because of human-caused climate change. The extreme heat caused illness, death, crop losses, and strained energy and healthcare systems, according to an analysis from the World Weather Attribution, Climate Central, and the Red Cross. The report said although floods and cyclones often dominate headlines, heat is arguably the deadliest extreme event. Many heat-related deaths are unreported or are mislabeled by other conditions like heart disease or kidney failure. Federic Otto was with the Imperial College.
We looked at extreme heat events within the last year, so from May 2024 to May 2025. And in almost all countries in the world, the number of extreme heat days has at least doubled because of human-induced climate change. As soon as we stop burning fossil fuels, global mean temperature will stop rising, and that also will mean that the increase in heat days will stop.
Record-breaking wildfires in Canada are sending plumes of smoke into the U.S., impacting air quality for Minnesota and Wisconsin and the Lake Superior region. More than 17,000 people are in the process of being airlifted out of wildfire zones by the Canadian military. Hamas is calling Israel's response to a Trump administration ceasefire proposal as failing to meet any just and legitimate demands of our people, including an immediate end of hostilities and an end to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The U.S. plan for Gaza reportedly includes a 60-day ceasefire and the release of 28 hostages, both alive and dead, in the first week in exchange for more than 1,200 Palestinian prisoners. It also stipulates Hamas releases the last 30 of the 58 remaining hostages once a permanent ceasefire has been arranged. The White House says Israel has signed off on the plan. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza has led the United Nations head of humanitarian affairs to call Gaza the hungriest place on earth. Jens Larky says Israel's limitations on the United Nations in carrying out its aid delivery system amounts to a straitjacket. He says of 600 out of 900 aid trucks that have been authorized to get into Israel's border with Gaza face a mixture of bureaucratic and security obstacles that made it all but impossible to safely carry aid into the region.
It's a trickle. It is drip feeding food into an area on the verge of catastrophic hunger. It's not a flood. Gaza is the hungriest place on earth.
A federal appeals court is now allowing President Trump to continue collecting tariffs under an emergency powers law as his administration appeals an earlier court order striking down his tariffs, the case now likely to go to the Supreme Court. The Trump administration says while billionaire Elon Musk is stepping down as leader of DOGE, the agency will continue its work of slashing government spending. Today is Musk's last day at DOGE. Meanwhile, the UK's Guardian publication is reporting a letter signed by a handful of Senate Democrats is urging an investigation into DOGE employees who own stocks in companies that stand to benefit from the slash and burn of government agencies. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.